Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Rival Esports' Spring Open. I'm Digital Bacon, and tonight I've been joined by Corelli. Corelli, we just had the absolutely nuts news that Splice got 3-1 against a team that we had no idea about, and now we get to see that team go up against Seoul Esports, which is a team you know quite intimately, apparently.
Well, I don't know how intimately I really know Seoul Esports, but I am a fanboy of Nap, just because if you've ever met Nap, he's the nicest guy in the world. And for more credible reasons, Seoul Esports has been a great team. Bork and Savvy Steel have been around for a long time, and they had a great run in the Rival Series play-ins. So there's a lot of history with this team, a lot of history with its players. On the other side, we were just talking about it during the break, Bodis, with Faded, Madness, and Mektos. I mean, we don't really know what to say about these guys other than they did take down Splice in a pretty convincing fashion. So I am excited to see them play. I'm not really sure what to say about them because I don't really know them that well. But I could say that they have a great opponent in Seoul Esports. They have a great win over Splice. And I think this matchup might stack up to be one of the better matchups we'll see tonight.
Definitely is. Well, one thing we got to, get straight out there, the Bodis have to come in as the underdogs. This is a team we have no idea about. But just seeing in chat, Faded is an amazing player. So, guys, they're in chat. Tell us everything you know about this side, because us as casters, not knowing anything, you're our tool, you're our resource we go to. You have that pool of knowledge. I can see there over 100 people watching at home. You've got to know a little couple of things between you, and Nap, you're pretty adorable yourself, dude. So going into this, I don't want to pick sides, but I always like a good underdog story there, Corelli.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to pick because you look at because you're inclined to go, hey, this is a game that Seoul Esports should win, just because, again, the history, the players, we know these guys, they've been around for a while, they've always been pretty good, they've always been pretty solid. But on the other side of things, you say, okay, hey, look, we see this Splice team, they're supposed to take down this Bodis team, they don't. Bodis plays extremely well. I think we looked at the scores, and they were very, very close after the first game. Splice won the first game 6-0, and then after that, Bodis, I think, won the next games with just a one-goal margin. So, they were tight games, close games, and if they can play Splice like that, they can play everyone else in this Stage 2 that close.
Yeah, the only difference there being the very last game, which was 3-0 to Bodis. So it's a case of, in that first game, Splice came into it, the top dogs. They put their stamp on that game. To Bodis, they've got to have a bit of intelligence about them, right? Because looking at that score, and we know how Splice plays, they must have realized a formula to beat them, learned from it, played that really close game, and then in game 4 they perfect. And Nirno came out dominating in a 3-0. Coming against Seoul Esports, I'm actually quite excited because that's my favorite kind of Rocket League, a game that develops as time goes on.
And this match is extremely important for both of these teams. The winner of this match advances to the final bracket. Both of these teams are 2-0 right now, and this is huge for them. This is what they came for. They want that ticket to the last stage here against those big dog teams. They want to be able to prove themselves here, so they need to do it one more time. The winner of this moves on to Stage 3.
Yep, Stage 3, which is going to be taking place Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be there. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who I'm being joined by. Quickly, B-Dog, tell me. He doesn't know either. Damn it. Oh, we got a few surprises in store then. It looks like we're going to get the lobby remade up. So quickly, B-Dog and Corelli, we got to leave. Got some weird bug going on my game, but looking into this game, I'm just excited. I'm a little bit giddy. I'm like a schoolgirl, Corelli. I just want to get in this game, and I want to meet these new players on the block.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. One, because we do get to see Seoul Esports, but two, again, the question mark around this Bodis team. What do they have in store for us? How good are these guys? Do they work together? Was it solo play? Are they fast? Are they slow? How do they play? That's the question. That's what I want to find out with this team, because they have a chance. They have a great chance here to prove themselves. They can punch their ticket to really take on one of these RLCS level teams and play against the best players in the world. And they just need to do it one more time against this Seoul Esports team. So I'm excited really for both the sides, for both these teams, to have this chance to come out and punch their ticket to stage.
Yeah, well, I've just had a little look at chat, and well, our little happy elves have been helping us out, and we have got a couple of little opinions. Mektos is a god of 1v1, so you'd imagine him to be that more defensive player, and then doing a little bit like we saw of Etex in that last game, sort of like going end-to-end stuff. And Faded is very speedy, so I can imagine him also doing that same game. So maybe we'll see a lot of aggression come out from the Bodis here, Corelli.
Yeah, and I also see Faded said in chat that they didn't know how Splice played, and how can you if you've never played them before? It's tough to really know how people play until you play them. You can watch all the film, but it's different once you're on the pitch and you're playing against them. So that is really kind of a testament to this team, to the to Bodis team, for them to adapt and play and learn against their opponent. And that is a powerful thing here against this Seoul Esports team. Can they do it here against them?
Well, we'll have to find out. The game is underway. Seoul Esports in the blue versus the Bodis in the orange. Demo's already coming out from the Bodis. Maybe this is how they won. Just absolutely frazzle their opponents. Not let them do a single thing. That ball is cleared away. Savvy trying to get control of that midfield. Faded looking for that wall. Bork not going to be able to reach as Mektos takes that down to the corner. It's been an interesting start straight off the bat with a lot of long shots. The first one connected from Solus, who chat tells me is a monster.
And what a shot from him, just grabbing it right off the wall. Savvy could not get there in time. He gets a piece of it, but he just knocks it into his own net. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Bodis.
Bodis looking to start things here off the same way they finished off Splice, with goals upon goals upon goals. Savvy and Nap are going to look to stop it out. Nap with a very nice block there, but Solus getting that out to Bork. A little bit of a ghost hit on my screen, but the attack continues. A lot of pressure down into that Bodis back line. Solus off the wall, and that's not a connection there. That's going to roll out with Bork picking this up off that wall. Unfortunately, missing that as well. Really ambitious plays. That's why they're not connected here, is they're going for these massive hits, which could absolutely turn the tide to the ankle.
Well, there's a lot of pressure coming out from Seoul right now. They're up and over. You see Nap going through the whole team. My goodness, Nap off the wall. You see him carry this one. Past one, gets a second touch, past two, and one more. Faded couldn't get there in time, and Seoul Esports able to tie it up on the back of Nap.
Yeah, Savvy couldn't even get there in time as well. He's like jumping up going, oh, I'll help you, Nap. And then suddenly Nap's like, nah, I've got this, dude. It's me. One-man army, Nap just coming on through. Faded, trying to put a little bit of pressure, but he's not giving any help at all. And he will have to pay the price of being downfield. And Bork with the pop, making Mektos look silly.
Fantastic play. They find the player downfield, and Savvy, he passes it back out to Bork, who puts it away. It's a textbook play from Seoul Esports, and it gives them the lead.
Yeah, this is how you take down a single defense. Just pop it around them, make them move, and then you can dictate the play afterwards. It's that sort of faking game as well. You see it all the time. Savvy with a good block. So that goes out wide to Solus. Can't keep control of it, overextends that ball. Faded going to keep the pressure going, shot on target, but Bork clears that away. Savvy on a solo run. We're going to see another pop. Couldn't get enough power onto it, couldn't follow on through it, and that is kept away by the Bodis defense.
And again, a lot of offense coming out from Seoul Esports, and Bodis, who had a great start here from the shot from Solus, have really started to slow down. Not too much coming out from him. In fact, them being on this side of the field is the longest they've been since their first goal, and for Seoul Esports, they're controlling a lot of this game, and Bodis haven't been able to grab hold of it.
That's what's worrying as well for Bodis, is that Seoul Esports, they look comfortable here, Corelli, don't they? They just look like they're passing between each other in defense. When the ball's coming into them, they're just popping it to the corners and then following through to pick it up. These lads are playing their game, and Bodis have to stop them. Walk off the wall. Again, just handing over possession, they don't matter. So Esports are up a game, and they know if they hold on to this midfield, the ball will be given back over to them. Bork not going to be able to connect that, but look, the Bodis not even going to go challenge, and Nap does get blocked on out there, but he had so much time to work with. Dose up off the ceiling. Solar's not going to be able to reach that. Bork near enough, just jumping off that wall, flying across and picking it up. Faded. It's going to go across his own net here. This is risky as Savvy gets it off the backboard. Nap, slow ball, does go wide, and Metos does clear this away off to the corner. Faded, blocked out by Bork, with Savvy jumping on in. The wall fall down, but not a teammate to connect. Nap, massive work in the midfield to really cut out that counter.
Yeah, and another chance here for Seoul Esports, and they finally break the defense again of Bodis, and this is just constant pressure coming in from Seoul Esports. That ball coming straight back down onto Bork's hood, and he's able to put it away. He drew out those defenders, and that's really what happens when you have that much pressure. Bodis just couldn't keep up with the play. They started to run out of boost, and more importantly, a lot of players already bit on a ball and were out of position. It was up to Bork to put that ball away. He's able to put it on net, and again, a 2-0 lead now for Seoul Esports.
Yeah, at the moment, it just looks like Seoul Esports are just hammering away at a wall. They're just taking their time, waiting for an opening, and then suddenly they break on through, they get that crack, and they will punish the defense from the Bodis. 48 seconds remaining. The Bodis have to get 2 goals to just send this into overtime. Remember, this is a Swiss round, so it's not all over yet. There's still many more games to be played, but you do want those points nonetheless.
Yeah, and I mean, think about what's on the line here. This is your time to go to stage 3 to prove yourself in the final bracket. The winner here gets to move on to that. They are in the top 8, and they get to move on and play against those big dogs. So a lot on the line here, but let's not forget Bodis' last matchup in Splice. They got crushed game number 1. They go down 6-0, and it took them that one game to learn and adapt to their opponent. So we'll see if they can do that here against Seoul Esports.
Fortunate miss there from Savvy. And one thing I will just say here, Corelli, is that Seoul Esports didn't get a goal for that last 2 minutes. That was kept out from Bodis. They were able to find a way to get that defense going. Seoul Esports maybe just let off the throttle a little bit because they didn't have to put that energy in. But Bodis, from what we can tell on paper, they're going to get stronger as this series goes on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. We saw it, at least on paper, they did that against Splice. Who knows? It could have been more of Splice, maybe starting to have some problems. We don't know. But Bodis did start to play a lot better there, regardless of that, in that second half of the matchup against Splice. And now they lose their first game here against Seoul Esports. Do they bounce back? Or do Seoul Esports continue their dominance over Bodis? That's the question here going into game number 2.
It is definitely going to be the question, and the players already hopping into game number 2. They're not going to waste any time at all. They want to get these done and dusted. They want to know who is going through to Sunday night, who's going to have a shot at winning that $1,000, who's going to have a chance to play up against the giants of G2, Ghost Gaming, FlyQuest, and Allegiance. Big names in Rocket League. Well, this is the chance to make yourself a big name. Get that tournament under your belt. Get onto the stat sites like we said earlier. Solus with a dribble. Pops it up past one. Bork. Nice pre-jump to be able to meet that and get that midfield control underway. Nap. A little bit of a miss-hit, but is well put off to the side for Savvy to pick on up. Demo coming out from Bork and leaving a little bit of pressure. And Savvy just, he waited too long for that one, Corelli.
Yeah, we've seen Savvy a couple times on the ball. He's trying to get those mind games. He's trying to get inside of the head of his defenders, and it's worked a couple times, but if you keep doing it over and over again, people are going to expect the fake. And maybe that's what he wants, because he might start changing it up. And if he's smart, he should, but there's a couple mind games coming out from him, and they paid off a couple times. That one is not a mind game that pays off, though.
No, this is overconfidence from Seoul Esports. Why were they all pushed up that far? This seems a little bit of like, you know, a slip of rotation. They didn't realize where everyone was, and Nap and Bork were looking at each other like from the middle and over to the right, like, wait, I thought you were the third man.
And regardless, Seoul Esports now find themselves down the first goal once again. Same thing from the first game. Bodis getting that first goal, this time in faded. And if I'm them, you need to crush them now. Get that second goal, get a cushion, and start putting on the pressure against Seoul Esports. Start to make them sweat a little bit, because Seoul Esports were able to not only get back into that game like they are now here tying it up, but they got comfortable as well.
You saw this in the corner. Solus, the only man back to make a save, try to go for that pinch against the wall, and yeah, it just didn't work. It was unfortunate. It was the only choice he had there, Crowley, wasn't it?
Yeah, and for Seoul Esports to bounce back so quickly is huge for them. And on the other side, though, to Bodis, like I was just saying, you don't want Seoul Esports to claw their way back into this game, because we saw it in the last match, they started to take over.
The next goal is definitely going to be important. If Seoul Esports get it, that could be the Bodis just deflated,
oh my
but
goodness.
No. Oh, the read there.
This ball just coming off of faded, just pops it up. It should be an easy save for Savvy, but he didn't know that Solus was on the back wall. He's able just to dunk it in. It was hit right into the bottom of his car. And now, Bodis, they get themselves a 1-goal lead here in 2-1.
That's got to mean morale is still there. Bodis, like I said, I'm going to be deflated. No, they're blown all the way up, and they're ready to pop off. Nice shot coming out from Faded. Are we going to get a follow through? No! Unfortunately, Mectos can't reach it. He's blocked on out by the defense. Nap with a dribble looking for the tiny little intricate passing play. Bork getting beat into that, but unfortunately the ball's wide and Nap picks up. Brilliant block there. Solus diving on in. Savvy charging on down. He's like a ball. Ready and raring. Really punch away, but this defense from Bodis is finally turning up.
Yeah, and it's not only the defense, but the offense from Bodis has really started to turn up as well. Obviously, they get 2 goals this series so far, but they're looking for each other across the field. Their clears are much better. Their shape in the defensive end is a lot better. Not letting Seoul Esports have dribbles down the field, not letting shots on target. They're doing what we saw Lights Out do against Merlin, just contesting the midfield a lot more.
I think it is definitely those blocks. Look at that again from Solus. Just being able to close down the situations. The ball does go up after one as well. And Faded is back to make that second save. You're going to see this come out as being so important, is having that second player back. In case there's a mistake, in case that ball gets on past the contester, you're going to have someone there to pick it up and then get that clear.
And if I'm Seoul Esports, I mean, now is the time where you really got to make a good push to get another goal, because
there is.
Oh, well, there it is. I'm surprised because I thought Mectos was going to have that save, and he doesn't. Not really the most creative play coming here from Bork down to Savvy. It just takes a long shot. Mectos not able to get a touch on it, and now we're tied up with Seoul Esports. Just as I said, this is when they need to do it, and they've done it with 1.5 minutes left.
The real question here, Crowley, is are you Seoul Esports? Is that where it's coming from?
Am I Seoul Esports?
Hey, maybe we're all Seoul Esports. Maybe this is like one of those heartwarming family moments. It is a PG game after all, and it's got to continue on. Personally, I like it when it loses a bit of that PG-ness and everyone gets a little bloodthirsty, wanting those demos. But hey, I'm a simple man. I like explosions just like that. Thank you, Faded. He's listening on in clearly. Ball into the corner. Solus, nice control to get that through, but Nap was one man too many. Follow through from Mectos, but that's lingering in the middle for Savvy to pick up for a long shot. Trying to get that pressure once again, trying to push that ball forward to create some field control, and definitely Seoul Esports have it once again. Pass out, it's a little bit too far past Savvy. Demo from Faded onto Nat. Shot after shot still coming on through. Savvy looking for another attempt. That is well controlled by Mectos. Pick that up, put it out. Nat really being pushed far forward. Bork, nice rotation on him. Faded with an interesting touch, and you can see both players wanting to get that down into the Seoul Esports end, which is an interesting one. That's Seoul Esports going for a back pass, and then of course the Bodis trying to push it away, get themselves a little bit of time to grab boost, and then turn things around. Fortunately, it's not for long as the Bodis is put on the back foot for even longer. Faded out wide, 2-all coming down to the dying seconds. The countdown is on our screens and on the players' screens. 1 goal, still an opportunity in it, but the ball hits the ground. Overtime is run.
And just like that, the Bodis find themselves in a winning position now in overtime. Really, both these teams in a winning position. Only 1 goal is going to separate them here in this game number 2. But the Bodis can fight back. They are down game number 1. Getting this game number 2 would be huge for them.
Ball into the middle. Faded, patiently waiting. He's got it up high. He needs the follow through instead. He's just looking to go steal some boost. Maybe the long con could be played here by the Bodis, where they're just trying to keep the ball pressured down on the opponent's end. And near enough play what Seoul Esports was doing in that first game against them. Lingering out and Naps. Just going to let Savvy pick it up. He's going for a dribble. That is overextended. Soulless clearing the whole way down. Want to get a connection on this. That's a nice shot. Just going wide into the post and denied. Big clear from Borklo.
Yeah, and a lot of this time has been spent in the Seoul Esports half. The pressure really coming on for Bodis, and this is a great start to this overtime. They had a couple touches that if they went their way, they could have had a goal here. Seoul Esports struggling to not only clear the ball, but keep possession down the field.
Oh, bumping play from Savvy actually does save the Seoul Esports team there in the back end. Walk out to Nap, but nice interception from Soulless. 1 minute 30 nearly, no goal scored yet. Definitely a game of defense. Not for lack of trying on the attack side from both teams. Soulless land Faded jump on in. The drop down for Soulless. Soulless with the shot, but Nap. Whew, just fast enough to turn around and get the clear.
And that is another great play, another great setup from Bodis. And Seoul Esports haven't had too many opportunities to get down the field and make something scary for that Bodis defense. It's been a couple times now on their defensive end for Seoul Esports that they've struggled to get this ball out.
Oh, that's a long shot from Soulless.
Uh-oh.
Savvy though!
I don't even know. So this one coming off the backboard from Solis, and it looks like Savvy just accidentally misreads it, and he owned goals off of the backboard. Really an impressive play by him to put that into the back of the net, but it does give the Bodis their first win of the series. We are all tied up 1-1.
Like, the awkward thing about that one, Krilly, is if it was on the opposite end of the pitch, we'd have been screaming and shouting, wouldn't we? It would have been a good goal. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It was no goal, and
well, you gotta feel bad for him because he goes up for the save, and I'm assuming he misread it. I'm really not sure where he was trying to go because he was so early to that ball, but unfortunately that is how the game's decided here in overtime. Bodis, they do squeak out a 3-2 win, and they are tied up 1-1 in the series. Of course, we're going to get 2 more games regardless of who wins these next 2.
So that puts the Bodis still 1 goal behind them. That's the important thing. That can be the little decider there. We're talking about earlier, 8 teams go on through to Sunday night. And 8 teams, unfortunately, they're going to be going home with nothing. Goals could be what changes this up. And the Bodis are looking good so far, being only 1 behind. They can just keep this up. Get maybe one. There's 2 more games in this series, Curly. If they just win those games by 1 goal a game, they're going to be in the driver's seat, essentially. It's that small a difference.
Yeah, that's all it takes. And again, to reiterate what's on the line here, I mean, the winner of this does get to move on to the final bracket. Both these teams are 2-0. So This is huge for both sides, and being tied up here in the first 2 games is really just kind of resetting the pressure, okay? Nobody's got an advantage, nobody's at a disadvantage right now. We're all tied up.
Faded with the drop, and Savvy picks it up, licks the dribble. Wasn't a good choice. The Soul's kept that out. Bork with the push. Savvy looking to get that in front of net. Faded dropping it down. It's into the middle. This is still dangerous. Soul putting it up high. Nap going to make the most out of that. Keep this pressure going. Soul Esports don't want to let go at all. Bork down to Savvy. Savvy to the middle. Nap is there.
Great
and
play.
The goal is there. 1-0.
Fantastic play here coming out of Seoul Esports, finding each other. Again, we saw this play in game number 1. They find the man downfield. He plays it back across the net. And this time, it's Snap who gets in front of it and puts it away. Great play from Seoul Esports.
Yeah, I don't even think some of the best teams on Rocket League could have stopped that out. It was just so clean between the players. The Bodis quickly down 1 goal. They've got to turn this around. Savvy looking for a second crossbar denies. Bork coming on in. The demo was on the wrong player essentially there. Corelli is that was saved on out.
Well, I like the play. They have the shot, it goes off, they have a follow-up. Nap going in for the demo is the correct play there, eliminating one of the defenders. Unfortunately, like you said, not the correct one, but another great attack from Seoul Esports. And Bodis right now struggling in this game.
Yeah, goals, like shots, attempts like that, it's like a 50-50 essentially. Like it'll work one day and not another. They just got to keep trying. Bork getting bumped away in the air quite comically. Savvy, you can see he's looking for the pass over to Nap. Well blocked out in the air by Faded. Nap once again. Actually faking out the defense then. I'm liking this, that Seoul Esports going for the mind plays. Unfortunately, the mechanical skill from Savvy just wasn't there. It's a good attempt though.
Well, and speaking of shots, you have 7 on the side of Seoul Esports to Bodis 1. So huge
7.5
offensive disparity.
That's not. Off the backboard, Bork looking to put that down, is kept away by Mektos. Savvy still trying to keep that pressure, unfortunately jumping at nothing. Faded, going to be beaten by Nap as that's cleared the whole length of the pitch. So he's looking to get the hits, clears, but Solus is there. Get that down, that's actually well chased up. Born to middle, Faded with the attempt. Nap has just been too good in that defense.
And that was the cleanest look Bodis has had in this third game here. The defense from Seoul Esports, really just the denial of possession in their defensive half, have been so good. That was honestly shocking to see, to have a free shot on net, uncontested. Nap, it was shot right at him, so he was able to make the save. But if I'm Seoul Esports, you cannot give Bodis too many of those. They can shoot.
It is. You said it earlier about any other day it would have been a goal, and going to be the same case there. Solus up high. This is going to be an awkward one as Nap drops it down. He was looking for a pass in the middle. Not a teammate to be found as this ball's going to linger on the wall. Savvy with a good bounce out and well read by Faded. As Nap unfortunately hits it. It was a close one to being another own goal. Making the length of the pitch there. One thing I'm definitely loving here is how the Bodis, they are still seeming quite calm in this defense. The problem is, currently for me, they've got to start getting these attacks going. They're just too pressured at the moment. How do you break out that pressure?
Well, yeah, Seoul Esports is doing a great job of pushing the ball into the corner and following it up. You see a whip there coming out from Faded. The kind of discombobulation of defense when the ball comes around in front of the net, it's been Bodis' big problem right now. I don't know if it's lack of boost, lack of communication, or poor positioning, but one of those 3 is causing a lot of problems for Bodis on their defensive end, and Seoul Esports is able to lock them in and then burst down the field when they're on defense. Bodis has not been able to have too many opportunities on offense.
Can I just say, I don't think I've ever heard the word discombobulation used in a sentence before. Like, that's amazing to just bring that up. But we're coming down to the last seconds. It is down into the blue end. It is still alive. The chance is there for the Bodis. Nap looking to deny. Not a player to pick it up. Bork kills it into the ground, and Seoul Esports pick up game Number 3.
Yeah, now 2-1 in favor of Seoul Esports. And again, this was a close game, and honestly, I feel like the score doesn't really show how this game went, because in my mind, I think that Seoul Esports really owned this game. They controlled every part of the field in this game. I don't think Bodis had any control during this game at all. I think Seoul Esports just couldn't connect on a few things, and that's why the score wasn't higher. But in any case, it doesn't matter because Seoul Esports do come out with the win. It's a 1-0 win, and now they what do they got? We got one more game here, and if they can come out and win this game, they move on to stage 3.
Yeah, and definitely agreeing on, it was only a 1-0 game, but it felt like it was a 1-0 game because Seoul Esports wanted it to be a 1-0 game. They wanted us to sit on the edge of our seat the whole time there, giving a little bit of hope maybe over to Bodis, and maybe playing that mind game. They've been so good on those fakes, on those dribbles, Seoul Esports, so maybe this is another aspect that they're working on, basically raising the hopes up for their opponents and then, bringing them on down back to earth.
Well, we're going to see here, Bodis has done a good job of getting the first goal in the game. They've done it in 2 games here, but can they do it one more time and hold on to a lead or build a lead? That's the question I have for Bodis right now, because getting the goal, especially the first one, hasn't really been a problem.
Well, if Bodis win this game, just quickly having a look at the overlay, if they win this game by 2 goals, so they've got to win it and then win it by 2 goals, they will actually come out on top. So this is an essential game for them here, really.
Yeah, that 1-0 win or loss to Bodis wasn't actually as detrimental as you think, because not a huge lead in the goal differential department was built. So Seoul Esports, they did a good job getting the win, but they need another, at least squeak out a win here and not let Bodis run away with the game.
1 minute down, not a goal to be scored yet. The ball is in favor of Bodis. Savvy gonna drop that down, and well done by Fader to get it out. Solus into the wall, looking to follow through. That's a nice launch, but Nap is back. This lad has just been the definition of a goalie, keeping everything out of that net. It's a back pass attempt from Mektos. Problem is, that's a little bit too risky for my liking here, Grilling.
It's risky, but they didn't get scored on, so you can't really say too much. But yeah, I mean, when you're with so much on the line here, and for Bodis to have this kind of, they need to win this game, and not only that, but they need to win by 2 goals here to move on to the next stage, to at least solidify that. That's huge for them, and you don't want to be taking too big of risks, especially so early on.
Yeah, more attempts like that. Go for the goalie bump and the shot on target. Okay, and that just coming through, making this look easy. It was a fantastic pass at Savvy.
It was a great pass from Savvy, but really what happened here, Bodis getting caught. All 3 players were up past half field by the time Seoul Esports were able to push the ball into their attacking third, and nobody got back in time to get a good position on the shot or pass, and that's what led to this goal here for Seoul Esports.
Solus bumping that on out. He wants to follow him through. Does have faded downfield. Nap seeing that, it's just going to bump him. It didn't really work. Mektos handing over possession. Unfortunately, he wanted to touch, send it across over to Solus, and Solus did not get that memo. We'll have to go up now as he punches it to the corner. 1 man back in the fence in faded. Solus actually sticking on that back wall as well. I thought he'd rotate on out there.
Shots coming out from Seoul Esports again. They do have the 1-0 lead here, and Bodis finally not getting the first goal of the game. They need to start putting the pedal to the metal here, because they're past halfway and Seoul Esports are knocking on the door for another goal.
Yep, well, Savvy taking it off to that bat ball once again, getting that midfield pressure into their control. Seoul Esports, Mektos, infield pass, and Nap just absolutely takes Solus out to dinner, just removed him from that pitch, and hopefully, he's doing it again!
He's been doing it all series. The physicality from Nap has really paid off for the Seoul Esports squad, and really it's thrown off a lot of things. When we talk about Seoul Esports locking in their opponent on their defensive third, it does come out from physical plays like Nap's been making. You've seen him a couple times trying to open up opportunities for free shots on net. You see him disrupting the defensive shape, and that's really aggravating if you're a team trying to get 2 goals in a game where you have to win.
Bork with the long shot, Mektos into the corner. Bork from faded, and he actually makes it work. Well connected with Solus, and Solus looking to connect once again. Big commitments into these attacks from Bodis. They're really trying to get those goals. They know what they need to do to win. The problem is here, Grammy, that it's coming down to that last minute. Time is ticking away for them, and they've really got to make it work now. This defense, it just seems too impossible to score against them.
The defense has been good from Seoul Esports, but with 40 seconds left, it's not impossible to get 2 goals here, and really not unprecedented, but they need to get the ball down the field, which they have here, and they need to start putting some shots on target.
Bork chasing this down into the corner. Fader gets there first. Uh-oh. That's not what you want in the corner. Loose control. Solus doing very well to get a touch on that and block it out. And that, again, keeping us born to his opponent's corners. Seoul Esports know this too well. They've got that 1 goal. They've just got to make sure that sticks. They're not looking for another. They're just looking to hold. Solus over to Faded, but Savvy intercepts. Ball is going on out. Mektos does keep it alive. Bork will kill. And Seoul Esports have secured themselves a spot in Sunday night's finals.
And I have to hand it to Bodis. They played an extremely well series here. They took down Splice earlier, but this entire series was so close against Seoul Esports. The last 2 games were 1-0, and they go down here in a very tight fashion. Seoul Esports, though, they played a great game. I think the defense from Bodis was really what gave them some problems here. I think they probably could have scored a lot more goals if Bodis didn't have such a strong defense, which they did throughout the entirety of this series. But hats off to Seoul Esports. They do punch their ticket to stage 3 here in the final bracket. Congratulations to them.
Well, guys, that is it from these 2 teams. Well, from Seoul Esports anyway, they're going to go on through. The Bodis will have another couple of chances going on through. It's not completely over for them. They're still in this tournament. I'm going to quickly have a little look, really, at the bracket, see how things are developing elsewhere. Let's refresh that, please, Chrome. Work for me now.
Well,
Thank
so
you,
I can see Splice bounced back. They took on the speed of light. Light speed. In a 4-1 fashion over them, or excuse me, I believe it's 3-1 or 4-1 over them. So that was good from them. We talked about how, they had maybe a bad game against the Bodis. They're able to bounce back and get their win over the next game.
Yep. Looking elsewhere as well. It seems like all the other games are actually still underway, so we don't have much, and that's a little bit sad. See Zabumafu beat We Good in a straight sweep as well. Quickly having a little look off to the side if we've got any other information going on in the background. We're trying to wait for confirmation of this next match to come on up. Should we keep them hanging, Corelli, or should we go over to a break? What do you think, dude?
Oh, I don't want to keep anyone hanging. No, I don't want to. I don't want to sit here and keep people on the edge of the seat.
Okay, so we'll be going over to a break, guys. We'll be back when we get the information of what match is up next. So don't go anywhere unless, of course, it's down to the kitchen and grab yourself a nice drink. I mean, I'm personally drinking a nice cup of coffee. Might be British, but nah, I'm not a fan of tea, to be honest. So we shall see you guys in a few moments.